Hello and welcome to Larissa's Kitchen. Tonight I'm making maple glazed pork chops with spicy candied pecans. We're going to finish this meal with a bed of baby sweet lettuce dressed with an orange juice vinaigrette. And that we're going to start on first. To put this orange juice vinaigrette together, I've got one large Valencia orange that I've zested and juiced. I like to strain my juice to get the pulp out. I've also got 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, about a 1/4 teaspoon each of kosher salt and fresh cracked black pepper, 3 to 4 cloves of finely minced garlic, and 1 cup of a mild vegetable oil. This is canola oil. I've put it in this shaker and we're just going to blend it up. We'll just put this in the refrigerator until we're ready to serve dinner. For these pork loin chops, I've got 1 pork loin chop per person that I'm feeding. They've been trimmed of almost all the fat and they're generously seasoned with kosher salt and fresh cracked black pepper. I've also got 1/2 cup of maple syrup and 1½ cups of orange juice. Now these together are going to make the candy sauce. This is 1½ cups of pecans, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne, and 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. Let's get over to the stove and start cooking. I've got my very large nonstick pan on over medium-high heat. This has about 1 tablespoon of canola oil in it. We're going to let this heat up and then we're going to put those pork loin chops in here to sear. Once these pork chops are done on the second side, I'm going to take them out and put them on the platter, which I did clean. Now these pork chops do not appear to be done at all, and in fact we will be putting them back in the pan a little bit later to heat up with the candy sauce. Alright, next in go the pecans. I'm going to toast these pecans in this oil for just a few minutes. We want them to brown a little bit, but we don't want them to burn. After about 2 minutes, I'm going to add in my spices and stir those around for another minute or so too. Okay, this looks just a little bit dry and I need some oil for my spices, so I'm going to add about another tablespoon of oil in here. Okay, next in go my spices. Okay, these pecans are going to have to come out of this pan because we don't want them to burn. I've just got a pie plate here. I'm going to transfer them to this and keep them close by. Okay, this smells nice and fragrant. These are ready to come out, and I am not left-handed. Okay, I've turned this to low. I have not cleaned this out because we want these spices in here. So first in goes the maple syrup. And then the orange juice. I'm going to stir this to combine and let it come to a simmer. After that, I'm going to put the pork back in here and let that finish cooking through. Now that this is combined, I turned it back up to medium-high. Now that this is simmering, we can put this pork and any pork juices that are on this plate back into this pan. I'm going to let these pork loin chops simmer for about 5 minutes, turning maybe once or twice. We need to let this candy sauce thicken up. After that, the pork loin chops are coming out and the pecans are going back in. Okay, this is starting to thicken up. I don't want it to get too thick, otherwise it'll turn into hard candy rather than staying as caramel. Let's go ahead and put these pecans in. We're just going to let this froth and thicken up just a little bit more. Okay, this will thicken up when it cools down, so this is ready to be served. It's time to give this pork loin a taste. Now, I only cut a few pieces off of it just for presentation. You wouldn't have to cut any, but I think it looks the best. Get some pecans in here. Oh, they are so spicy. This is so delicious. I'm actually crooked.